Good day, beloveds, and welcome. Welcome to Natural LID. I am Danny, your social worker and aromatherapist, where I bring information to enhance our overall quality of life and well-being. Today, we have a very special guest. I am graced with the presence of LEEAPRIL Burton. She is the founder and CEO of Composed Warriors. You say, well, what is that? So, as a composed warrior, she believes in the use of aromatherapy is necessary for the well-being of those with chronic pain, specifically those with sickle cell. She works directly with these individuals and families to teach how to use essential oils and what blends together to get the best results possible, right? She also speaks at events and groups wanting to learn more about the benefits of using essential oils and why they are needed and they can be of help amongst families who suffer with pain. She is a caregiver of individuals who suffers from sickle cell, one whom one whom is a stroke survivor and another whom works through mental health and emotional challenges. Also, in her personal life, she loves reading. She specifically loves reading her Bible and getting her spiritual nourishment. This fuels her to help others as she thrives on seeing others be their best self. Lastly, she has a passion for being out in nature and is mechanically inclined. She loves tinkering with things and seeing how they work. She likes taking them apart and then putting them back together again, which is definitely better than me. So if you could, we welcome Miss LEEAPRIL Burton. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Danny, for having me. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Well, we're going to get right to it. So I mentioned that you are the founder and CEO of Composed Warrior. So could you share with us what you're currently working on, like your mission or your goals or endeavor, or what is Composed Warrior? Let's start with that.
Okay, so Composed Warriors is just a term that I came up with. So in your introduction, you mentioned how I help individuals with sickle cell. Well, sickle cell, the community with sickle cell disease, they sometimes refer to sickle cell warriors. So, because they are faced with many battles, I decided to put a positive twist on that and say composed warriors.
Okay.
And that can fit for just about any group of people because we're always fighting something,
All right.
whether it's, uh, external or internal. So, yeah, that's pretty much why I came up with that term.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So what is inspired you to start this endeavor?
Wow. Okay. Well, because we are a sickle cell disease family, I care for an individual with sickle cell. We are faced with many challenges, whether it be lack of information in hospitals,
Mm,
um, lack of information in the community, in our community,
mm-hmm.
in the Black community. There's
Mm-hmm.
individuals with sickle cell trait who don't realize the implications that could come upon them if they marry someone else with sickle cell trait and have a child that could also cause sickle cell disease. And the education is so necessary. Um, but being a family of an individual with sickle cell is very difficult because hospital stays come and they last almost what may seem forever. It can be kind of depressing if you don't understand what's going on. And a lot of times the doctors will overlook what you're talking about and they may not understand how you're feeling. You may not understand how you're feeling. I don't have the sickle cell, my son does. So I have seen uh, this for about 20 years. So he's 20 years old now and I know this challenge, and it's a very difficult one, but it can be overcome.
Okay.
And that's what I want people to know, and I want them to be educated about it.
Awesome. And having said that, thank you. That segues into a follow-up question. Specifically is sickle cell for our audience who might not be familiar with the
Mm.
definition of it, if you could?
Yeah, absolutely. Sickle cell disease is a blood disorder where we carry the trait within us, and we give it to our child in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
It is, let me think about this. How do I explain this? And I should know this because I've been doing this for a long time. It's a genetic disorder, so it's passed down from us to our children. There is about, if we carry the trait, there is about a 25, 50, I want to say a 25% chance that one of those children, if you have like 1 in 4 child, one of them may receive the full-blown disease,
Mm-hmm.
and the other children may carry the trait. So it just depends. Um, yeah, so this blood disorder will it will cause the hemoglobin to sickle up like a crescent moon. It will cause the blood vessels and veins to occlude or cause occlusions or clog up, so to speak. It will cause pain. It can damage the arteries. It can damage it can cause strokes. It just takes a toll on the body. And inside of somebody with sickle cell, they can end up having challenges and things as if they were 80 years old versus being
Mm-hmm.
a young child. So they go through quite a bit of challenges being that. I've heard of individuals getting hip replacements and shoulder replacements and things of that sort. So it can be pretty challenging.
Gotcha. You said some important key terms here, and thank you for sharing that. So individuals can have the trait, such as myself. I do have the trait, but you can also have full-blown sickle cell. Can you tell what might be the differences in symptoms, perhaps,
Hmm.
than a person with the trait than with having full-blown sickle cell?
Yeah, so with sickle cell trait, many doctors, we get our information from our doctors because they're the one who take our blood, and they can tell what our chemistry is like. And if we don't specifically ask for that, we may not even know that we have
Mhm.
it. Um, and when we are told that we have sickle cell trait, they'll probably tell you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. You don't
Right.
have the full-blown disease, so you won't suffer. However, there are things that can trigger us to have small crisis. And because we carry that trait does not necessarily mean that we're not getting a bit of our body isn't suffering, because people with sickle cell trait are more likely to have kidney disorders or kidney degeneration. People with sickle cell disease, however, it doesn't take much to trigger a crisis. For instance, during the summertime, someone with sickle cell may want to go swimming. Someone with the trait may want to go swimming. Just because you have a trait doesn't mean you're going to have a sickle cell crisis, but somebody with sickle cell disease could go right into a sickle cell crisis after swimming in some very cold water, because
Mhm.
it closes up those blood vessels. So it causes that blood to thicken, and the lack of oxygen is just a mixture of things that can cause that trauma to put them right into the hospital. They're easily dehydrated, just as we're always told, drink lots of water,
Uh-huh.
not just because of the skin benefits or
Mhm.
the heart benefits or whatever is involved, but people with sickle cell really, that's almost like their lifeblood. They're told to drink water, not only just half the size, half the, how we're told, take your weight, split it in half, and that's how many ounces of water you should drink. Well, yeah, they drink that, but then some.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So
Uh-huh.
a lot of times, if we see individuals with sickle cell, they look young, but you really don't know what their body is going through. Now, with sickle cell trait, we may not be have it's not as easily triggered, is what
Okay.
I'm saying. But it can still be triggered. We can have pains, aches and pains in different places, especially if we go to thin air, very thin air, and we stay there. It can trigger some pain in areas that we wouldn't expect, and we're trying to figure it out, and we don't know where it's coming from. It could be sickle cell trait. So we definitely want to find out. We want to ask our healthcare professional, can I please get an electrophoresis so I can
It's called
find.
electro. Could you spell that if you can?
Let me see. ELECTRO. Let me write that down.
Right. No worries. We'll put it up on the screen or
Electrophoresis.
have it in the description as well.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think this is it. If not, I'll get the information to you and make sure that is spelled
Okay.
correctly. So it's ELECTROPHORESIS.
Okay.
So yeah, and we have to request it because if
Yeah.
we don't know, then they probably won't do it.
Wow. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Mhm.
It- it- And that brings
And
me, thank
just
you.
just to add to that, you could probably go to a sickle cell clinic and ask them to do a test because a lot of sickle cell is um,
Mm,
there's a lot of advocates around, and we're trying to really make an effort to make sure that people are aware of it. And
okay.
if we can ask them to help us out with that, then they probably can too.
Oh, you said a new term. I never heard of a sickle cell clinic. I know there
Mhm.
might be organizations, but a specific clinic that just, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay. Oh,
yeah.
awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh,
Which
you're
bring
welcome.
which brings me to the next question. Why is it important for our community to think about this topic? You touched on it
Yeah,
about you might not even know that you have it or have the trait, and you might have symptoms.
yeah, yes. So, one out of 13 African American babies are born with sickle cell trait.
1 out of 13. Okay.
1 out of 13. So if you get, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, yes, it's not a huge number, but it's big enough because we tend to marry our race. And it doesn't have to be an African American. Other races can actually have the same disorder. It may
Okay.
not be as predominant,
Okay.
but they can still have it. But when you have sickle cell trait, and like I said, if the other person has sickle cell trait, then you're at risk for having a baby with the sickle cell disease.
Gotcha.
So it's that we're trying to not bring lives into the world. I mean, that doesn't mean that, don't have babies. And it's a bit of
Mm,
it's one of those things that can cause controversy, I think.
okay.
But I've heard of individuals they're angry with their parents.
Hmm.
They're mad at their parents for having them. Like, if they knew they had sickle cell trait, why did they have me?
Right.
So the pain, I mean, it's something that they carry. It's an emotional pain and it's a physical pain, and it's something that they have to live with the rest of their life. So thinking about the whole scheme of things, the implications associated with it is just really something to think about.
Gotcha. Wow. Never, thought about that. But sometimes you just simply don't know that you have it until after the
Exactly.
fact.
Exactly.
How many of us get genetic testing before we get married?
No.
Honestly,
Yes, exactly.
maybe we definitely should, but that's a topic for
Exactly.
another
Exactly.
episode. But no, and then you find out after the fact, oh, I have this and oh, I have
Uh-huh.
that.
And
So,
that was a similar situation with my husband and I. I learned a long time ago that I had sickle cell trait, but the doctor said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's nothing." And growing up, I had aches and pains that I felt weren't normal. And, of course, family shrugged it off as being growing pains. But, now I have a child that has sickle cell. Not to mention, I had a brother that had sickle cell. He passed away at 27.
oh,
So, which is one of the reasons why it's him and my son are the reasons why I went into this program.
okay. Okay. Awesome. You definitely have first hands-on experience, and we do as well. having had a cousin to pass away from sickle cell and go through those things that you talk about, the chronic pain and suffering and what have you, and you just don't want to see them suffer.
Absolutely.
So I
Absolutely.
totally get it. Which brings me to our next question. What opportunities do you see for our overall well-being as it relates to sickle cell or chronic pain and the use of aromatherapy? Because we're
Mhm.
both in the aromatherapy world.
Yes,
We are
yes.
familiar with aromatherapy and utilizing essential oils for many different things, the therapeutic properties. But share with us, what have you found have been association or relationship to using them with persons with sickle cell and chronic pain?
What I have seen is a reduction. Actually, let's just say if I could put it all in one word, I'd say relief.
Relief.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
relief. Relief of um, maybe not completely taking away all of the pain, but bringing it down a couple of notches, taking away some of the sting, some of the fire of it. Um, and then the anxiety that's involved with having pain. When we know our bodies pretty well. So if we feel like a little twinge of something, or if it doesn't feel right, we know there's something coming on. So imagine what a person with sickle cell must live with. They know when something is coming on. They may
Oh,
develop a headache.
okay.
Their body may start to lightly ache a little bit in the beginning. Then
Okay.
if they don't jump on it, then it could turn into something that they didn't want.
Wow.
So using
Okay.
essential oils, I have seen how they can help with the reduction of pain. They can help with the reduction of inflammation. Sickle cell disease is also an inflammation disease. So
Okay.
one of the reasons why they pain and suffer so much, maybe it has something to do with that eating, the nutrition value. What are
Mm,
the foods we're eating? And the Black community, we like, our salts and our sugars sometimes, and our we like to eat what tastes good, but
absolutely. We stepping on some toes now, but it needs to be said. It
it needs,
needs to be said.
and it's a work in progress. I know, and I'm not
It
trying to.
is. Is it
It's a
easy? No.
controversy.
But is
It
it worth
is.
it? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Because if we eat better, then we're going to have some benefits that are much better.
Right, right.
So yeah, yeah,
Ab-
they outweigh the consequences of not eating well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so glad that you brought that up in addition to using essential oils, because sometimes we can skirt around that topic, right?
Yeah,
Like, oh, we could just use aromatherapy and essential oils. Like, no, we got to go a little bit further.
yeah, it goes deep. It's a
No.
holistic viewpoint. It's holistic. So those essential oils, they are phenomenal. We know what they can do inside the community, but there's a lot of people who don't, and they don't believe in them. But as a first-hand user, I
Yes.
tell you, whoo, I mean, my life has changed, and my
Awesome.
son's life has changed, and the people who I care for, life has changed and have changed for the best. So,
Awesome.
mhm.
Awesome. And having said that, with using aromatherapy, it not only helps your physical, but your emotional well-being,
Yes.
your mental well-being. So it can
Mhm.
help with those things all at once, the whole person, really.
Whole person. Absolutely. Yes. And that's where they come in for myself, because I'm going to touch on something that I think is so important in the Black community, but for women.
All right.
Um, we carry a lot of burden.
All right.
We carry a lot of trauma. We carry a lot of, we just carry a lot. And sometimes it's looked at as if there's a lot of stigma around that.
Okay.
But, I might say some things that's going to step on some more toes. As a Black woman, I've never been the type to really focus on getting my nail. I used to, yeah, my hair done, yes. I gotta have my hair done. It does something for my mental health. So does,
Right.
caring for myself externally, but internally, those emotions that we need take care of, we can put those off on other people, and folks be like, I don't know why her word's so sharp. Well, it's because of the trauma we carrying.
And not realize it.
Not realize it, yeah. So the essential oils, that aromatherapy, bringing that into our lives can really help us, and knowing how to use them. And like when I'm speaking to individuals or people or groups of people, I'm speaking on all these different topics because I live this life. You know, I could be a really sharp person. I could be a person who is angry and bitter about my circumstance. But what good does that do? I can't carry the light when I'm full of darkness.
Amen.
So I gotta, yeah,
Amen.
I gotta
Absolutely.
bring the light and show up for my people because I want them to be their best selves.
Yes, and that you do, that you do. And I'm sure there's much appreciation for all that you do and how you do it, because you never know how you touch somebody.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Absolutely.
So I applaud your mission and your vision of what you're doing for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I sure appreciate you for even pulling me on here and saying, come on, Miss April, come on, talk to me for a minute.
Talk to our people about this, right?
Yes, yes,
And that which leads me to my next question. What do you see the future for Composed Warriors? What is your hope for
yeah.
Composed Warriors?
Good question. So, I've spoken a lot about sickle cell disease, and I think how important it is for us to have this in our families. It should be something um, that we have. It's essential, but
Okay.
I want others to understand how important it is for their benefit. Other people who suffer from chronic pain and inflammation. So what I'm doing out here is I live in Bakersfield, California, on the West Coast.
Okay.
It's not as peachy as some people may think. We burning up out here.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh.
But I'm creating a space so that I can speak and teach to individuals in person, and I'm inviting people. Um, I'm inviting individuals, I'm inviting groups, and it will be virtual as well as in person. And I'm so excited about this. I recently had an invitation to a sickle cell convention that is taking place. Actually, it started the 18th to the 23rd. Due to extenuating circumstances, which is probably too much for this, but I was not able to attend.
Okay.
But that was such a fine opportunity.
Okay.
But I got to consider my people here in Bakersfield because I feel like they are without.
Okay.
So how are you going to take care of everybody else but don't take care of home?
Mm.
So
I
that's so important to me. I got to take care of home. And if home isn't appreciative, then I got to open it up to others. We're gonna move with with the flow of things. We're gonna move with the flow of things and keep it going.
I got you.
So I don't know. Yeah, yeah, that's my hope is that people really take a hold of it and they can benefit from the aromatherapy, from the teaching, from the support, from the listening ear. Um, and they will if they take a hold of it. And I work with individuals one on one as well as in groups. So yeah,
Awesome, which leads me to the next question. You're just moving right along. So you do offer one-on-ones, right?
I do.
So do you have like contact information to share with our audience about how they can contact you or schedule you
I
for
do.
events? Yes.
Yeah, it's very basic. My contact information is just my email, my business email account, LEEAPRIL.B at composedwarriors.com.
And we'll have that information in the description. Could you repeat that again?
Yes, LEEAPRIL, that's LEEAPRIL.B at composedwarriors.com.
All righty. Yes.
Yeah.
So you work with individuals and you're available for speaking events to
Yes.
talk about those specific topics. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So is there anything, as we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience, specifically with Black women or our
Yeah.
community? Um, is there anything that you think you would like to add to this conversation that we haven't talked about?
Man, this is a huge, our Black men.
Okay,
We need it
okay.
too. They need it too. They can benefit too. Our men, they can benefit too. And
Most,
you know, there's there's a lot of pride in this, and it's okay. Hold on to that. But um there's benefits that they can receive that if they take a minute and smell that beautiful Siberian fir aroma. I feel like that's a masculine aroma.
uh-huh.
And I love it. Oh, I just love it. And imagine, I mean, they can even make colognes and things. If they don't necessarily have to do things the way us women do, but if they just kind of take a little spray bottle and just, you know,
A
that's
one drop,
it.
one drop.
Yeah, oh yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, get you some Vaseline, put that right behind that ear. I mean, you will smell that, and then there's so much benefit in that because that's a tree, and trees are planted and they're firm and they're deeply rooted. And
Oh,
I'm telling you, I love nature and the way essential oils work. Remember, I told you I like taking stuff apart and then putting it back together. So I like to think of the essential oils according to the tree. So yeah, that's a
absolutely. And you touched on the subject. We can have a whole nother segment
yes,
about
ma'am.
using essential oils from which the part of the tree or plant it comes from helps
Mhm.
that part of your body.
Yes.
So you
Not
touched
to
on some,
mention,
yeah.
not to mention the whole household. So that's, I mean, and I know that's what you talk about. So I can't wait to
Yeah.
talk further with you about that.
Oh, I would love to have you back. I thank you for adding that piece to it. Yes, our men, and to get them to do the aromatherapy piece. They might think it's feminine, not all, but might not know about it, might not be interested, may not take the time to want to
Yeah.
do it. But us as spouses and partners,
Mhm.
we can sneak it in. We can sneak it
Yes, we
in lotion.
can.
We can sneak it into the soaps. Like I like to make soaps. I'm like, here, honey,
You do, huh? Okay,
yes,
I see you. I see. Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
our body lotions and all the things.
Oh,
Started
yes.
making body lotions and things. So
Oh,
we can
yes.
sneak it in.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Oh, I love that. Love that. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to tap into
Yes.
that.
But it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you, Lee April. It is my true hope that we get an opportunity to speak more
Oh,
about this topic in different areas. And I feel truly blessed to have met you in the space that we have met in our aromatherapy sister world, because it's predominated
yeah.
by women, but it's not men, we're not excluding you men.
Okay. Yes.
But just in our sister circle, it's a sister circle of women. So I'm so
Right.
happy to have met you and your agreement to come on and speak about this topic that I feel so passionate about. Honestly, didn't know much about, and like I mentioned, I have the trait, and so didn't think that much about, perhaps what it could be and mean to those of us who have it and who have full-blown sickle cell, and using aromatherapy to help with it,
Mm-hmm.
to help cope, to
Mm-hmm.
help go through our daily lives. So I thank you for that.
You're
Okay.
so welcome. Yes.
And I bless whatever all your endeavors, all your vision and all the things that you put your hands on with working with individuals with chronic pain, because that cannot be easy.
Oh, thank you so much. I sure appreciate you so much.
Yeah, it
Thank you
cannot be
for
easy. And
well, no, ma'am, it's not. But, if we do things, I mean, even if you do everything right,
mm,
there's still gonna be those challenges. But we can reduce the amount of stress around those challenges if we take a minute and, use what we have that's around us versus just hurrying to pop a pill. No, I'm not nothing against it, but it definitely says a lot.
yeah, I understand. I truly understand. I'm with the same sentiment, the same school of thought. So again, I thank you very much. I thank you, our audience, for watching this.
Thank you.
We'll have Lee April's information in the descriptions. She does, as you heard, take on one-on-ones and is available to speak in groups about this very topic or anything related to chronic pain and using aromatherapy. And it's a true blessing that we've had her on today because she's in the West Coast, I'm in the East Coast, and whoop, this time zone. We up early, y'all. She is up early. She got up early. So I truly, again, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And again, hopefully this isn't the last time. And we'll be seeing you. All right. You have a wonderful day and good rest of your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye for now. Bye, everybody. God bless you. I love you. Thank you for watching. Let's continue to learn, grow, and share together naturally. Bye-bye for now.